Hello and welcome. This is Movie Trailer Trash. You are listening to a very special episode that doesn't involve any trailers, movie trailers, or any trash of any sort, but just an end-of-the-year overview of our favorite movies and stuff like that, and our top 5 favorite movies, because we're a movie podcast, and that's what movie podcasts do. They do an end-of-the-year favorite movie.
All right, let's do it.
What? What was the eye roll for?
I was going to say, all right, let's do it, and then you were going to play the music.
Oh, okay.
And the eye roll was because...
That's right, baby. It's time for Movie Trailer Trash. Enjoy.
All right, hello. As Charlie mentioned a second ago, this is Movie Trailer Trash, and it's a
it is.
very special episode.
So special.
For those of you who may be new to our podcast, I'm Bethany.
And I'm Charlie.
And we typically talk about trailers, but we're going to review 2016 because we started our podcast at the very beginning of 2016.
That is true.
So some of you might have been with us the whole year listening to us, and we do appreciate that, and we love all of our listeners. And hopefully you'll find it as interesting as we do to talk about what the year has brought us.
Is it true, though? Did we start it this year?
It was February, yeah.
February?
Yeah.
And we only have 52 episodes?
It might have even been January, but I think it was February.
We really dropped the ball at some point there.
Really?
52? Well, yeah, that's how many weeks there are in a year. 54?
56, right?
56?
I think there's 56
50,
weeks in a year.
If there's anyone who knows how many weeks there are in a year,
just tweet at us.
Just tweet at us. At MTT Podcast.
I mean, if we had a Google Pod right now, then we could ask it, but...
A Google Pod?
Yeah. Isn't that what they call it? The Google Pod?
Oh, Home.
Oh, Google Home. If we had a Google Home right now, we could ask it, but we don't.
So tweet us.
So tweet us. You guys are our Google. Okay, right. So let's just jump right into it. We both made our own list, and neither of us have told each other what it is yet. So that'll be fun to go through. And we're going to start with our number 5s and just kind of talk about why we like them and why they're on our list, right?
Yeah, go ahead. Give me your number 5. Best, favorite best movie of the year.
All right. Wait, no, 5 is your 5th favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not my favorite. I have Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Fantastic Beasties and Where to Find Them. That is my number 4.
All right. So obviously we both really loved it. I mean, I was shocked that it made my top 5. Like, not once I saw it, but if you would have asked me from the beginning of the year, what I thought would be the top 5, I would have never said that one. I was excited about it, but I was very hesitant and very nervous because I'm like, how are we going to... I was really nervous to see how J.K. Rowling was going to take a world that was well established in England and put it in America and put it with adults instead of children and still have the same feel as Harry Potter. That's really hard to do. What I really forgot was she's a freaking genius. She's an amazing writer. And I was talking to my mother recently about this because she's never read the books and neither have I. I've only listened to the first 2 books on tape. But I was
half of the third one.
Yeah. And I was telling my mom, I said, you would actually really enjoy reading those because it's not like The Hunger Games, where The Hunger Games is like a really interesting story and a very great concept, and I thought the big picture idea was great.
Very much unlike Harry Potter.
But the girl wasn't a very good writer.
Mm.
J.K. Rowling, from the very first line, is a great writer. Like, people go on and on about how the first time I've heard and read things about how people open the book when they were kids, and the very first line is like, I can't even think of their name, but Harry Potter's family.
I'm a wizard. Harry Potter.
No, it's like,
Hey, how are you?
The Bogglesworths were very happy to say they were perfectly normal. Thank you.
Bogglesworths.
I don't know. What was his family's name? I'm sorry, all of those Harry Potter fans that are trying to turn us off right now. Please don't. We both love Harry Potter.
No, it's definitely the Bogglesworths.
Shut up. Anyway, I'm going with it. They were perfectly. They were happy to say that they were perfectly normal. Thank you. And just the way that she writes just is so eloquent and
so
great
British.
and smart. It is very British, but
it's actually not that British.
Well,
I mean,
very
the writing
conversational,
was.
And I'm just so impressed with it. I mean, I'm a writer by trade, and
really?
And so when I see a book like that that's written for kids, but it's not written like kids are stupid. That's the thing. A lot of books like The Hunger Games was a great book, but it was written like it was talking down to the kids that were reading it.
I'm happy. I was just happy that the Bogglesworths weren't in this one.
Shut up. Okay. No, shut up. Okay, so let's talk about the movie, Fantastic Beasts.
Well, yeah, I think one of the reasons that I liked it so much is because I went in thinking that it wasn't going to be very good.
I didn't necessarily. I was just nervous going in. I had heard good things about it though, so yeah, like early on,
I was
didn't
just like,
think it was
this will
gonna be
probably
good.
be fun, and
And
whatever.
it was, and that's
But
like
I
it
think
was
that one
really
of the
fun.
reasons that it made that it was so good was because of they got Eddie Redmayne, and
Yeah.
Colin Farrell and all of those guys.
The actors were great.
And it was so. I mean, everything was just kind of perfectly done. I mean, there were obviously problems in it and stuff, and
yeah, it wasn't a perfect movie, but
smoke monsters are never really, super exciting anymore. But destroying an entire city, it would have been more interesting if it wasn't destroying the entire city. Spoiler alert, by the way.
Oh yeah, you've got to do that. We got to. Okay, from this point forward, we will do spoiler alerts.
Yeah. The whole thing's gonna be a spoiler alert.
So spoiler alert right now, and we'll put something up. When we post this, we'll make sure to put that in the link.
If I remember.
Spoilers. So anyway, yeah, they had, Colin Farrell's amazing. He's great. And I've heard some people complain.
I wish that the bad guy would have just been Colin Farrell.
I agree.
And not Johnny Depp.
But I think it'll be interesting if Colin Farrell can continue to be in it.
Because I think Colin Farrell is so much of a better actor than Johnny Depp is.
That's not very fair. Johnny Depp is a very different actor than Colin Farrell, and I think they're both really good. I do think that Colin Farrell would have been better for this type of movie, though. But anyway, okay, it doesn't matter. Let me talk a little bit about it. So Colin Farrell is amazing. Eddie Redmayne, I've heard some people complain about him and say that he really bothers them. Like there's like a very annoying essence about him. Some people at work were talking about that.
Well, yeah, he's supposed to be like a dweeb.
Yeah, but they were saying that they think he takes it too far and that his whole like I'm awkward and uncomfortable. And I was like, no, I thought he did perfect.
I thought it was going to be like that.
I thought he did perfect.
And then it wasn't like that because he has barely any lines for being the main character in this movie. He doesn't talk a whole bunch.
Yeah,
like,
he's more action
compared to most main characters.
Yeah, he takes action. He does things.
Right. Most of the other people around him do the talking, and he kind of like shrugs and stuff.
I was a little nervous that it was going to be too much about the Beast, which is another complaint. Another complaint I heard was that they wished it was more about the Fantastic Beasts.
Where are all these complaining people that you
They're
are
all
hanging
at work.
around with?
My coworkers love to complain, but who am I? I mean, I love to complain too, just not about this specific movie.
I just call my brother, and he goes, "Oh, beasts!"
No, yeah, somebody was saying that like they wished that it would have been about the Beast. Maybe it was my brother. Was it my brother?
I don't know.
No, I don't know. It could have been anybody. But I disagree. I think that was awesome that it's called Fantastic Beast and Where to Find Them, but it wasn't about the Beast. It was about the people, and it was about the relationships.
But it wasn't even about the people. It was about the crazy thing that was happening in New York City.
Actually, more than anything, I think it was about the problems with the wizarding world. Because this was a long time ago. This was 1920s, and I love that. Like,
it's going to end up being about Grindelwald. That's what the whole thing is going to end up being about.
Yeah, but I think that the main theme in this one was that they were really backwards thinking. Like he said that toward the beginning. Like, well, I know you guys have some backwards ideas about wizards dating. Muggles, or yeah.
That's what they call them. What do you think about no mage?
I think it's perfect. When I first heard it, just like everybody else, I was like, come on. But then when I thought about it, it's actually perfect because think about it. Think about some of the things that words that British people use that we don't. We use generally less pretty sounding words, less sophisticated sounding words. So muggle has like a sophistication to it. Yeah, it's like, oh, muggles. You could see somebody drinking tea saying the word muggle. You can see somebody in America drinking a beer and be like, oh, those no mages.
Well, I think that mudblood is I think that's where they get muggle from. I think that mudblood.
A mudblood is a mix of being part muggle, part wizard. Yeah, you don't have a clean bloodstream. It's called mudblood because you're not completely
So
wizard.
Isn't that weird that that's the derogatory term in England, but muggle is not a derogatory term, and they think they're fine and you can hang out with them or whatever?
No. Well, they're fine with people in England.
Right. But but mudblood is like derogatory.
Yes, but mudblood is a derogatory term used by the assholes who think that it's only okay to be a purebred. Yeah. Like it's like people who are racist.
So they probably hate muggles also.
Probably.
Okay.
They probably think that they're stupid and worthless and powerless, which is, I mean,
Yeah.
somewhat true.
Yeah.
They don't know a lot. But I thought that word was perfect. If I'm trying to think of some words like the lift, and we're just like elevator,
The loo.
Bathroom,
Toilet.
So I mean, I don't know. I mean, they say toilet actually probably
Pot.
more than we do.
But
But yeah,
John.
What's some of the others? So like the trunk of a car is the boot.
Mm-hmm.
The boot.
The
They
hood
have
of the
very,
car is
like,
the bonnet.
open sounding words.
We
And
know
we're just like,
the English car words because we watch Top Gear.
hood. Yeah. The windshield.
Windscreen.
The windscreen. So I mean, the point is that it's very subtle differences.
The point is
and
that they're two different countries.
yeah, and and I think it's interesting because it's the same language, but there's still subtle differences.
Yep.
Differences. And I thought she did a really good job picking a word that sounded like something that Americans would say, and it wasn't weird when they said it. Like it made sense. They're like, "Oh, we call them no matches." And then that's it. They just said that, and then they went on from there. I like that there was those big name actors, but then there was the two girls. I didn't know them from anything. I thought I knew the main girl.
I think the girl
and
that
then
I heard
looked
that
it
the
up.
girl that can read minds is like a singer.
She was, first of all, gorgeous. I loved her. She looks perfect in 1920s hair. Like, way to go, girl. Way to go.
I don't remember where I heard that, so it might just
Maybe.
be a lie.
But the main girl, I remember the whole time I was trying to place where she was from, and then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, I have seen her in something, but it wasn't what I thought. She just has a familiar look to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that there are some people that were unfamiliar to you, because then, you know, just like with Harry Potter, you get to have a few people that you've never heard of, and they get to become something because of this, and it's giving them their shot, and I think it's really awesome.
I like that he just is like, he's an expert in this one thing with the creatures and the beasts, and he's not really like an all-powerful wizard.
Yeah. He's not like Harry Potter or
Right.
Dumbledore.
Right.
He's just a normal wizard.
He's a normal,
The average wizard.
Yeah, dude, and he
He
has
cares
all of
about
these
animals.
things. Yeah.
And he's so, I mean, now we have to mention
has all
this.
this
He
knowledge.
is so much like Hagrid.
Right.
Or Hagrid is so much like him. Like, he got kicked out of school.
But
Just like Hagrid did.
Hagrid's a bad wizard who likes all of these animals.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, and I think also Hagrid just loves the animals, whereas what's his name? Newt?
Yeah.
Not only loves them but really understands them.
Yeah.
Like, he was
And knows how to
so
use them.
smart. Yeah, he was like, oh, this is highly poisonous, but I think it could come in handy in small doses.
Well,
like,
also,
he's just so smart.
That's a great thing about this movie, is that he doesn't really, I mean, he does, but he does it in like his little mumbly way, where he doesn't like explain everything that he's doing to you.
Yeah.
Like he just kind of does it.
Yeah, like when
And
he
then-
pops up out of the suitcase, and this is
And
even
then
in
it
the trailer.
expects you to be smart enough to
figure it out.
at some point.
But like, it's like when he pops up he goes into the suitcase, and the guy's looking at him like, oh my God, what the heck? And then he pops up, and he's like, sticks his hand out, I think, and like just waves
yeah,
it
he's like, no, he's like,
"Come on."
don't worry, it's a magical world down there where you will fit and you can see all of these.
yeah, he doesn't
animals.
do that. He just says, come on, and then takes him down there, and it's awesome.
Yeah, and I love that the guy he's right at the exact point of stupidity where he doesn't ask any questions about anything.
He's just like, what the
he
heck?
just goes along with
But
everything.
he's also amazed by everything. And I thought that their friendship was so much fun because this guy was like cool from the get-go. Like, he was like, hey, mister, I think you dropped your egg.
Uh-huh.
Like, you think most people would be like, what the F is this? You know, but he was just kind of like, huh, oh, hey, I think you dropped this, dude. Like,
it
he
was in
so
the 20s,
friendly.
though. That's when everyone was all friendly.
Maybe.
If you were white.
But I thought that...
and a man.
Okay. Well,
And
they
straight.
both were. So, but no, I just thought that their friendship was really cool. And I thought that it was cool how subtle it was. It wasn't like they were like a bromance by any means.
No.
And so when he said at the end, like, why did you keep me around, dude? And he's like, because I liked you. Because you're my friend. I was like, oh, I literally touched. In fact, the exact way he reacted was how I reacted in theater.
His reaction
like, it
was
was like
hilarious.
a second before him. Like, where he was like, oh. Like that like I grabbed my heart. I was like, oh, because it was so sweet because he doesn't say a lot. He's not very verbal. He's not constantly being a bromance. And so for him to say that, it was really sweet. I thought that moment was cool.
But yeah, this movie was great. I liked it more than
all of the Harry Potter movies.
pretty much all of the Harry Potter movies. And you know, that's just the thing, that if you weren't a huge Harry Potter fan before, like a Harry Potter like fanboy or fangirl,
girl.
then you would be, I think that's what your opinion would be, because I think that this is a better movie than most of those. Some of the later ones maybe not.
I have
but
to contest that. Okay, first of all, I don't think it's better than all of the Harry Potter movies.
I think that when you get into the final like 3 or 4 of the Harry Potter ones, then it gets closer.
I think that once we see more of this, once the entire 5 movie series is complete, I could look back on it and say it's better. But right now, just as one movie standalone, I don't think it's better than the entirety of the story of Harry Potter. Because,
yeah, I mean, probably.
And I was never a fangirl. Like I said, I didn't read the books. In fact, I got dragged to the theater because I remember as a kid, I was like, wizards are so lame. Like I was picturing
don't be such a nerd.
No, but I was picturing like wizards with like the big ridiculous hats. I was just like, what is this? And then my friend was like, you're coming to the theater to see it. And then I was like, oh my God, that was really good. So, I mean, I was never a huge fan. I do love the movies, but I think that this stood up against them. Like it stood up with them. I thought
this one was a lot more.
It is equal to
fun than all of the other Harry Potter ones.
I could see that
because what the fun in the other Harry Potter movies were like, look at these crazy things and like look at how
the tree it's attacking us,
insane and awesome this world is and how ridiculous it is, and then you get the humor from the twins, which is always funny.
Oh, they're great.
But then you get like the little kid humor, whereas
like
in
the
this
tree
one,
whomping them,
you get like kind of some actual jokes. I
don't know. I think that they're very different feels. I
like
really
all
appreciate
of the humor with the Niffler.
Okay. Like, well, that's just your type of humor.
No.
That has nothing.
That's the same kind of humor that was in. That's the only kind of humor that was in Harry Potter.
The like silly animal guy?
Right.
Well, here's the thing.
It made me laugh a lot.
Yeah. Regardless of humor and stuff, I think that the relationships and the story was more compelling because there was much higher stakes. This one was just an introduction to the characters, and none of the stakes were that high. Even with the guy, like his story was sad, the kid or whatever, but. Yeah, I don't know. That's my personal reason that I like Harry Potter more is because the stakes were higher, the relationships were more deep, and yeah. But we'll see what happens.
So that was Bethany's number 5.
Yours
and
was?
my number 4. My number 5 was Arrival.
Oh, okay. Now, Arrival didn't make my list at all, and actually I forgot to put it on honorable mention, but I probably could.
Okay.
I almost did. When I was looking at the movies, I was like, oh, that's really good, but is it top 5 material? And I just was like, no, it's not. Because that's one thing about 2016. Of all the bad things that happened this year, we can say there was some good movies.
Arrival's amazing because, first of all, the people in it are great. All of the actors do a great job. It's another one of those following my theme of they don't explain everything to you and just want you to figure it out, which I basically automatically, if a movie does that, it automatically gets to be a B.
And I mean, I think that for you and for me, I mean, we're both writers. I'm a writer by trade, but you're a writer also. You're creative by trade. And sorry for saying by trade all the time, guys. But I think that for people who really care about good writing, that's like a common theme throughout learning. Like when I was in writing classes, they're like, show, don't tell. Like you don't have to tell them every single thing. Like,
who is Show and why is she not telling?
Stop it. Show, don't tell. But no, yeah, the idea is like, if you are explaining everything, then you're assuming your audience is dumb. Like stop. My poetry teacher, my like most influential poetry teacher when I was in college would tell me like, stop assuming the audience is stupid.
And I'm going to actually get that out of the way right now because every single one on my list does that.
All right.
And I just realized that right now.
Good to know.
And that's probably why they're on my list and why a few of them were dropped down.
Sure thing. So do you have any more to say about Arrival specifically? I thought that Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner
it's one of those that
together.
you have to see to realize how good it is. Because like
that's fair.
When you just get the trailer or the synopsis of it, you're just like, all right, so nothing really happens then. But if you actually go and see it, then you'll see how good it is. And the director is the same guy who did Sicario, and it's really well done.
I think
and all of it, the way it looks, the way the dialogue is. There's a few parts of it that I really don't like.
But they don't ruin it.
But no, they by no means ruin it. But it's when she's on the actual ship with the aliens, like in their little quarters, and she touches them and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that looks weird.
I like that part.
I just thought it was strange that I think they could have done it differently. And I hate when
the military guy.
Yeah. No.
Oh,
when she travels into the future in her mind and she talks to the Chinese general about stopping the attack on these ships.
Yeah, you don't like that.
And he's telling her what she told him to get him to stop it in the present.
Yeah.
And as he's telling it to her, she's like crying and like shocked and like is just like, oh my God, I can't believe that blah blah blah, that this is what I need to know. And in my mind, I'm just thinking, this already happened. You should just be able to go into your brain and get this information and come back. Why are you in the future
obvious.
reacting that way?
I disagree with you 100%. That part I thought was really interesting. I think they could have maybe done it a little different, but no, she's just now trying to understand how time is cyclical, and she has already experienced everything.
But
like,
shouldn't present time her be reacting that way and not future her?
It wasn't future her.
Yeah, she was in the dress at the party.
Mind. Yeah, it was in her mind. The point is that she's trying to comprehend all of this. All of it. And in that future her, she didn't know what she said. He said, do you remember what you told me? And she's like, no, because that was in her mind. All of it's in her mind. She can see the entirety of her life like a book.
But she would remember what she said because it already happened.
But she wouldn't, because she's just now learning how to do this. She's the only person who understands the language to a point where she can see the future, basically.
So, I mean,
I'm just saying, I think it was totally cool that he told her and that she called him.
It was a cool thing. I did think it was cool that that's how she knew, is that the reason she knew what to say was because he told her
what to say
later.
Yeah.
In life. And that's awesome. And I like that idea. I just didn't like that she reacted at that time instead of in the present.
But time travel is complicated because the whole idea of it happened before, but then it happened before, so I know, so I can tell you, and then I'll tell you, so then you'll do it. Like, that whole thing is very complicated, but I think that's the whole point of this, is that time as we know it is incorrect. Like, we don't fully comprehend it. I think that was the point of the movie. We don't fully comprehend time the way that these aliens did, and if you could speak their language and basically learn how to do it, you could see the future. And I thought that was super interesting. I thought it was awesome. And also, somebody was talking about how, like, Jeremy Renner was a dick, though. Like, people were like, the fact that he left her is not cool. Even if he was mad that she told him.
It, though. It's not cool at all.
But I don't see him leaving her, because that means he also left his daughter in a time when she was about to get sick and die. Like, spend more time with her.
He definitely shouldn't have. But
yeah, it was a bad choice. But people
have
do
done
stupid
worse
stuff.
for
yeah.
less. That's for sure.
I was saying, what was it? They were saying, like, what was it? They were trying to figure out if he knew. I was like, maybe he could see the future too. I'm trying to remember. Okay, I forgot where I was going. We can cut all that out. Okay. Boom. There was something where I was like, he probably could comprehend it a little bit, because obviously he helped figure out some of the language. So I was like, it's possible that he
was probably having that weird thing that she was having,
where she didn't know,
she didn't understand that's what it was, and so she was just kind of like in Westworld, where she was just like waking up in different time periods and didn't realize it.
However, I do think that even if he left, I could see being overwhelmed and angry and frustrated and hurt and scared and leaving. But I'm like, you got to come back. Take a week off and freak out about it and then come back. But anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. What's your number 4? Because we already know mine is Fantastic Beasts.
My number 4 is Moana. However, the more I look at it, I might want to make it 3, but I'll put it 4 for now.
Okay.
Initially, when I wrote this list,
it's not on my list. But it is in my honorable mentions.
Initially, when I wrote this list, it was 4, but then I spent basically like 2 hours today looking at just random behind the scenes stuff about Moana, and now I'm like, I want to put it higher up. Moana was amazing.
Moana was very good.
You can say that, right? It was great. As far as Disney movies and just animated movies in general go.
Best part, though, was Jermaine from Flight of the Conchords as a giant crab doing a David Bowie impression.
That's Charlie's favorite part. I will tell you this: if they took that out, I don't think the movie would lack at all.
Oh no!
I literally didn't care.
It was so great.
But I have to say, I don't know anything about David Bowie. Like, I've heard some of his music, but it was never influential in my life. And when he died, I was just like, oh, I guess that's sad.
But that was a great part. That was probably the best visual part of the entire thing.
Okay, but here's the thing. I do not care about David Bowie. Like, sorry, guys. I know it's sad that he died, but I don't care about him. I don't really think of him as influential in any way in my life as far as music goes. I don't really care about it. I didn't even know he was doing a David Bowie impression, because that's how little I know about David Bowie. I didn't notice that it was Jermaine, but once you told me it was, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
He may have not been doing it on purpose, but it definitely was.
But he definitely was.
Exactly the same as his David Bowie impression.
And then just in general, I thought that part was kind of, it wasn't very good at progressing the storyline. I thought going up there and then him like pretending she was going to be a sacrifice and all that was really funny. But
Well, no,
the song
kind of
went on
there
a
to
little
get
long.
his
Yeah,
thing.
I know. But I'm just saying the song kind of went on a little long. It was funny though, and that's the thing. If it wasn't funny, it wouldn't have been good. I think.
Well, yeah.
It was the worst song I think of all the songs.
No, it was the best song.
No, you're wrong. He's just like, I wanna be shiny. And
But you gotta do a David Bowie
I can't.
impression.
How do you do it?
Shiny.
Shiny. I
There
can't
it
do
is.
it. And the thing is, like, no, it was my least favorite song, and I guess that's the point.
I
I'm not a
also-
fan of David Bowie.
The second
I don't
favorite
really like
part
him.
was when they attacked the little coconut pirates.
Yeah, and I get that too. That part was good, but
it
no,
was awesome.
my absolute favorite parts are the parts where she's just talking with Maui.
Yeah, those are good too.
When Moana is talking to Maui,
The whole
when
thing's
Maui
good.
is singing,
there isn't
it's
a bad.
amazing.
That's the whole thing. Is that there isn't a bad.
yeah, there's
part
no
in it.
part where I was like, oh my god,
Right.
get on with it.
'Cause, like, even the slow
when she was
parts-
just like alone, like in the water and it was night and it was dark and she was giving up. Like even that was so good. Like every little part was good and meaningful. They did an amazing job of telling a really interesting story that a lot of us haven't heard before. And it's a Polynesian story and it was kind of awesome. And later I looked it up. I was like, oh, Maui. And I looked it up and I was like, oh, he really did bury the actual
What'd he
story
do?
says that he buried an eel to make coconuts.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Took an eel, buried its guts. Now you have coconuts.
Yep.
I don't know the whole song. I love the song, but I don't know it. Humor was great all the way through. I think this is going to go down as one of the better Disney movies ever.
Yeah, I mean, it was very. It felt a lot. I said this to you. It felt a lot like Lion King.
Yeah, and
During the
that's
whole
what.
thing.
So I wanted to talk about that. I think it felt a lot like Pocahontas. Both of those movies have always been in my top
I've never
three
really-
Disney movies.
Pocahontas, it's obviously on a different level because it's a Disney movie. So it's like
Yes.
it automatically jumps
It's a
all
good
other
movie. It's a great
cartoons. But it was always lower on my
But you
list
didn't-
because it wasn't very fun.
But you also didn't have it as a kid, right? Because I think that
I think I did.
okay, because I was gonna say I think
think
that
we
for
had
me,
all of
there's a
them.
lot of Disney movies that I'm like, oh, I never really cared for that, but it's because I didn't have it. The Disney movies that I had, I loved because I watched them over
You know,
and
you
over
basically
again.
you had the raccoon and he was kind of
He
silly.
was funny,
but
and Flit
you know, I mean, it's
also
it's
Flit.
the movie
Also
is
the
pretty,
dog.
is pretty heavy, and it wasn't
Also,
very
the
super
skinny
fun.
guy who acts like he has an arrow through his head.
The two main characters aren't fun at all in
Okay,
Pocahontas.
but the skinny guy who is like the little minion of the fat guy, he's like, I, and he has the arrow through his head and he goes, I made it myself. And it looks like, anyways, it is funny, but the music in that is incredible. And this is the only other Disney movie where I think it could be basically on par with the music from Pocahontas. Like, just the greatest quality and greatest singers, because I love the songs from Tangled, but there's basically 3 songs in Tangled. There's so many songs in both this and Pocahontas.
Better
also,
or worse than Tangled?
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask you that. Better.
I like it more than Tangled, but
However-
that's just because.
However, I still think that Tangled is my favorite Disney movie. I think that this movie as a whole was better, but
that's just because it's different.
Tangled
whereas
is
Tangled
so special
not
to me.
Really different.
yeah,
from the
Tangled
other
though,
ones.
like the lantern scene is amazing. I can really relate with Rapunzel when she's like, "Oh, my mom's gonna be mad at me. Oh, but I also want more freedom." Like I can imagine myself as a teenager being Rapunzel, you know. So anyway, but Moana, the music was incredible. I loved the story. I love that they really tried to be authentic. I saw a thing with The Rock today where he was explaining how he thought it was really special that the people who made this movie, they spent a ton of time researching and literally traveling and talking to elders and leaders within different Polynesian islands and stuff. And he said like all the islands that they talk about, they traveled to. Like they really wanted to get it right. I thought that was so cool. And yeah, I mean, they were really lucky to get amazing actors. Obviously, The Rock's, this is his year. He's sexiest man alive this year. He's doing a good job. But
He's
then,
doing a good job.
I think it was special for him to get to be a part of it since he's Hawaiian and the girl was,
I think I
actually
said this
from
before,
Hawaii.
but is this the first good rock movie?
Well, no, I don't think so, but you have said that.
I think
I
so.
think it's the best rock movie. I think we could probably say it's his absolute best movie, hands down.
I think it's the only movie that's ever gotten like over a 70%, and it has like
Offhand,
a 90
I can't
something.
think of a movie of his that I love, but but I like The Rock, and so I don't
All
know.
the movies he's been in up to this point have been like
They're goofy.
kids movies and or Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, this was amazing. Just if you haven't seen it, it's good. Charlie and I went alone. We don't got kids. We don't have kids.
We don't got kids.
And, it's good. If you don't have kids, you should still see it, or at least see it when it comes out on Netflix. It is worth your time.
Yeah. It helps to go when you are, with as a couple.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
If you're a
We've
grown
talked
man,
about this before, how it can be uncomfortable. But it was one thing I would say is like you came away with the songs in your head, right? Like the songs were so catchy and memorable, and really like they told the story. The songs told the story, which is something that they have kind of gotten away from. Entangled and in Frozen, the music was just kind of thrown in there. Like her main song Entangled was great, but it was like, oh yeah, we're supposed to have songs. We're Disney.
Right.
It seemed like an afterthought. Whereas this, it's like the music told the story. Like in The Lion King and Pocahontas, there are so many songs.
Well, and also
the
with,
songs are all the way throughout.
Wreck-It Ralph doesn't have any songs at all.
Well, that's true.
And that's
It's a
one of my
different type
favorite
movie.
Disney movies.
Yeah. But I think if they're going to do this type of movie
And
with a Disney
I
heroine,
probably liked Wreck-It Ralph more than this one, just because it's more of my style.
that's fine. You're wrong, but that's fine. No. One thing I also really loved is they were asking the girl who plays Moana, Auli'i. They're asking her what she thought about being, how she thought about the process and getting to be Moana, and she said, "Well, it's pretty awesome. It's the dream come true to be the next Disney heroine." And I love that she said that. I was like, "What a badass!" She didn't say princess; she said heroine, and I love that because that totally describes
Even though this
Moana.
girl was technically a princess.
No, she even said, "I'm not a princess. I'm the chief's daughter."
Oh, whatever.
And
That's
then-
a prince.
and then-
That's the Hawaiian version of a princess.
And then The Rock said, and then damn it,
oh man,
Maui said, "Oh yeah, okay, the chief's daughter.
Yeah.
Sorry, the chief's daughter." But no, but she is a heroine. Like that's a perfect description of her.
She took
saved
heroin?
the world.
when did she take
Stop
heroin?
it. She saved the world, basically.
I don't understand why hero
and
can't
she
be
was
used for
awesome.
both genders.
It can be. Why can't actor and waiter, all of that,
Exactly.
all of the
Anything that
time.
doesn't have man at the end should be able to be used for both genders.
And all of the time I do that. I'll call girls actors and waiters and whatever, and people will correct me, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's stupid. But with heroin, the only reason I can see why you would do it is because there are so few women heroes in the world, especially in our media that we take in. It's becoming more and more common.
Just say lady hero.
What?
Just say lady hero.
See, that sounds
I'm
stupid.
I'm
But
so
I'm saying-
proud to be the next Disney lady hero.
When you say heroine, there's this really cool female empowerment about it. Like
It's like
women
injecting
can be
yourself
heroes too. It's a
with
way. It's a way in one
happiness.
word. It's a way in one word to say women can be heroes too. Women are badass also. And you can
Well,
say
yeah,
it
but
with one word.
wouldn't it be
Heroine.
more like that if you just use the same word? I'm the same.
Sure, but right now I think that we need heroines in this world. We need that word to
You heard it
differentiate
here,
so that we
folks.
can say.
Bethany, we need heroin.
Especially now that Princess Leia died.
No.
Sorry, didn't mean to bring it down.
All right, let's
Number
move
3.
on to number 3. I will say mine first.
Okay, go.
The Nice Guys. And now I know that's
Oh,
not
I
on your
haven't
list
seen it.
because you didn't see it.
Ah,
but
it makes me sad.
it is one. I won't do any spoilers for your sake.
Yeah, thank you. You're such a good husband. Because I really do want to see it. I really
It's
do.
it's one of the best movies of the year. It's one of the best action movies of the year. I think it's the best comedy of the year by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's crazy, and I
it's-
haven't seen it.
It's so good, and Shane Black is so good at making these types of movies. These just like these two, for lack of a better term, buddy cop movies, where
Yeah.
these two guys get together, they solve some sort of mystery, and there is some gunfire, and that's basically
Fair enough.
you make any that's every Shane Black movie, and they're always.
Could you
so
name a
good.
couple Shane Black movies for me?
Lethal Weapon,
Okay.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang,
Okay. Now I'm getting an idea. Okay,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, he's great. I
Yes.
like him.
and it's
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is amazing.
and it's these two actors that don't normally get to do these roles that just like kill it, that are like
Yeah,
so good
that's
at
cool.
it. Like Ryan Gosling gets to play this loser drunk who is always doing and saying the wrong thing, and it's like this really comedic
Instead of being
character.
super smooth and suave and sexy.
and he's kind of like an idiot savant. Like he like remembers things and figures
Uh-huh.
things out sometimes, and he's really good at it. And then Russell Crowe is like this like kind of mobstery like hitman type guy. He's more
Which
of just
is
like
weird.
muscle. Like
he's the muscle.
the basis of his character is that people pay him to beat people up for them that they have been wronged by, and that's like his whole thing. And then he eventually gets a heart. Like quickly, he quickly gets a heart, and he partners up with this other guy. And it's so good. The humor in it is perfect. The amount of action in it is perfect. I was telling you about this thing I saw about Shane Black where he was talking about how he feels like violence, like, because there's a lot of violence in all of his movies. But he says the reason that a lot of movies don't do it correctly is because violence in the real world is devastating. Like, no matter when it happens, like, even if you just like see someone get in a fight in the street, like, it affects you for the rest of the month.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah,
it's scary.
So
it's upsetting.
He wants it to be devastating. So like every time something happens, there's ramifications and there's stuff that goes on.
He tries to make
further.
It realistic.
Right. So like, you know,
however, Lethal Weapon is not realistic at all.
Well,
that might have been earlier on for him.
Russell Crowe, he gets ordered to Ryan Gosling's house to get beat up, and he breaks his arm. Ugh. And
Which I think they do that in the trailer.
Ryan Gosling has a cast for the rest of the movie on his arm.
Yeah.
Where in a lot lot of movies he would be like in a sling for a few scenes afterward, and then he would be able to use it again because
it's like he broke your arm. It takes a long time to heal.
Yeah, and it's just so great. You have to see it.
I do want to see it, and I'm really interested to see the humor in it because you said it was hilarious. Most people said it was hilarious, except for one coworker who was just like, it just wasn't even funny at all. And I was like, what? She's like, I didn't laugh. She said I only laughed once. I'm like, now, I never go to this coworker for, like, you know, opinions on movies. It's not like I'm like, oh, if she liked it, I'll like it. Right. But I'm really curious to see what it's like because of that.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll probably
like it.
You'll probably like it less because I've talked it up so much, but
maybe.
But it is very good, and it's number 3 for me.
Number 3 for me.
Go for it.
10 Cloverfield Lane.
Boom.
Is that on your list?
It is on my list.
Okay, where is that? 2? Is it 1?
It is.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, hey, that's fair. I mean, I can't believe that I put it above Moana. The more I talk about it and the more I think about it, it's probably below Moana. But let's just go with it. So 10 Cloverfield
10 Cloverfield is my best movie of 2016.
I mean, and that makes it interesting because it's my third best, but that's fair. Once you hear what my second is, you'll be like, okay, obviously, it's so Bethany. But yeah, so 10 Cloverfield Lane, I went into it thinking like, oh, that looks like a really good movie. We saw the trailer and we talked about it. It was actually one of the earlier trailers we talked about on this show. It
was when we were still playing the trailer at the beginning. I often use the trailer as an example for the best possible trailer you can make.
The first trailer.
Yeah.
They ruined it with the second trailer. However, it didn't really ruin it because it was still awesome.
Right.
But they showed too much in the second trailer. But yeah, if you have a chance and you haven't listened to it, you should go back and listen to our MTT podcast about 10 Cloverfield Lane.
It's very early on.
Yeah, it is very early on, so it'll sound a lot different. But I think that we were very right about it. I mean, like, we weren't perfect in guessing exactly what was going to happen, but we were absolutely right. It was as awesome as we thought it was going to be. It was phenomenal writing, phenomenal acting
by everyone,
and
not even just John Goodman. There were only 3 people in it.
One of the most suspenseful movies I've ever sat through.
Yeah, it's great.
We were in Alamo Draft House. Shout out.
Like we do every episode, pretty much.
We like them. And if they want to be our sponsors, they can feel free to contact us. But no, we were at Alamo Draft House and you're supposed to be quiet there. That's kind of the big thing. And my best friend and I were literally like sitting in the chair with like sitting on our feet, squatting and like trying not to scream. We were like, ugh,
what's weird is that everyone was doing that, even in a setting where you know that you're supposed to be quiet. Like a lot of people in the theater were like, ah!
Like unconscious noise. Like you're just like, oh.
This is the movie was just forcing it out of you.
There is one part where I screamed. And I think it was, since we're doing spoilers, I think it was when after he had just been like shoved into the terrible
and he grabs her
poison.
Yeah.
No, when she's crawling away and he stabs up through the thing.
It's such a horror movie thing to do.
But oh my gosh. That's the thing. It's a horror movie. I don't like horror movies. And this is on my top 3 of the year. Like, it was so well done. And this one had a heroine too. And she was awesome. And the thing I love about this, that really broke the horror movie trope of people being idiots. That's a trope. That's like a thing. It's like, I think we should split up. I think I should go into this dark room. Oh, there's somebody here. I'm going to run upstairs instead of out anywhere. You know? So like that's like a trope, and they totally broke that. As soon as she woke up chained to a wall, she immediately started trying to get out. Yeah. Not just like, I can't get out. But like she pulled on it and was like, I'm not going to be able to break this. And then she started looking around, and then she grabbed her purse. She got her purse and she was like, I'm getting the F out of here. From the moment she woke up in there, she was ready. She was fighting for her life.
Right.
That's what you would do.
Yeah.
Now, will you make it out? Most likely not. You're most likely going to die, and that's horrific. And that's why that's such a scary thing to put in horror movies, is people getting abducted. That's a terrible thing to happen to you. Also, but they did such a good job of making it seem realistic.
One of the things that people didn't like about this movie. So the vast majority of people love this movie.
Yeah, got great reviews.
And I don't necessarily like this about it either, but people didn't like the ending, where when she got out, it was actual aliens flying around and like, you know, releasing poisons and stuff like that.
I kind of love it.
But here's the thing, is that it doesn't matter at all. The entire movie, 98% of the movie is exactly the same no matter what is happening on the outside. Yeah, because the whole point is
she doesn't know, and she's still willing to risk it,
and
because she has to.
Like the fact that it was aliens or it wasn't aliens or whatever literally doesn't change the rest of the movie at all.
Well, and I think it's interesting because at the beginning when she tries to get out, she's almost out, and then she sees that girl like dying in front of her. So basically she had to decide, like, is it worth it for me to brave whatever is out there?
Well, that's when she turned around and went back downstairs.
Yeah, exactly.
She was going to get out.
But then when she saw that he had clearly kidnapped somebody before and was creepy and evil and probably killed her. Yeah. When she had seen that, she was like, it's worth it. Sometimes the evil that's out there you'd rather take your luck with the evil out there than the evil that's with you. Yeah. And I thought, yeah, I don't think it matters. I do love the very, very end where she's listening to the radio, and it's just like a call for help podcast. And it was like, there's people in Atlanta or something.
Do you mean radio show?
What?
A call for help podcast?
Sorry, did I say podcast? Like, no, it's just like, basically the point is that it's not the radio. It's like all staticky, and then she finds one station and it's people calling for help, you know? And they're saying like, we need help in Atlanta. If anybody can come, you know, we're starting to fight them, and we're, you know, whatever. If you're looking for refuge, go north, but if not, come to, I think it was Atlanta. And she's going north, and then
I think it was Houston, because they were in New Orleans or around.
So wherever the
case,
she was like heading away from it. She hears that, and she's like, basically like goes the direction of the safety, and then she stops and she just turns around, and it's awesome because she's basically she's first of all totally pumped up with adrenaline, and she's like, I just survived the most horrific thing I ever could have imagined twice. Survived one and then came outside and had to survive another, and people need help right now. And the whole theme, the kind of character arc for her was that she spent a lot of her life not doing enough. Like, she talked about that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but she was like, I don't take action. I don't follow through. That
it would be really like, okay, so two things. First thing, I love that it wasn't in, you know, one of the two places that movies are only allowed to be in nowadays. It wasn't in New York. It wasn't in California somewhere.
Yeah.
And so that was cool. But I don't know if I would have loved it, but I think it would have been really interesting if everything was just normal when she got out, like on the outside, and she just like drove to the police department and there was nothing happening. I don't know if I would have liked it more, but it would have been very interesting. However, I think that it may have been like a situation we're in now with in Star Wars in Force Awakens, where we're so sure that Rey is Luke's daughter that it would be surprising
if she wasn't.
So like when you were down there in the bunker, we're just like, well, that's clearly a lie. He's just lying to you.
However, the one thing that would make you think that he wasn't is like, but why did he take this guy in?
Right.
That's the big thing. And then the guy, but that's the whole mystery.
The guy was clearly stupid, and he could probably
and he saw the flashing lights.
Him.
He could have just seen flashing lights and freaked out.
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, I liked it. I liked everything about it. It was beautifully written. There was no real part where I was like, like with Moana, there was no part where I was like, oh, that shouldn't have been in there. Or that wasn't that good. Mm-hmm. Like, what part would you take out of there? I have no idea. So anyway, so that's good. Do you have anything else you want to say since it's your number one?
No, that's it. It was the best movie of the year.
All right, number two. Oh wait, you never said your number three.
Yeah, I did. Nice Guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we talked about it first. Okay. Mm-hmm. Number two, I'll go with mine first this time. Finding Dory.
That one is in my honorable mention category.
Oh.
I'm
Sorry.
surprised it wasn't your number one, actually.
Oh, don't be so surprised. Okay, we'll go into it, but Finding Dory, another one where you could tell on the podcast. Well, first of all, another one where we were totally right.
High five. that wasn't us. Like, yeah.
Another one where we were just totally right. We were like, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be great. And here's why. And then it was. And it didn't disappoint me. And I was so nervous that it would, because my expectations were high going in. And anytime that happens, you're bound to be disappointed. There are parts that I would change on it. So like, unlike Moana, it's not like perfect all the way through. However, for me, of course, it makes two, because I love Finding Nemo. It's my absolute favorite kids movie probably of all time. And so Finding Dory, it was so fun for me to see these characters in the future, and seeing how they're still interacting together and how they kind of became a family. I love that. I love how they can help Dory and how they've learned to cope with her for her illness, which is the forgetting thing. Some sort of short-term memory loss. They've like found ways to cope with it and to still help her, and she has a full life, and it's amazing, but something's missing in her life. She wants to know where she came from, and then the journey is awesome. And I love that they didn't do a whole bunch of callbacks to the first one.
Yes,
they did have the turtles, right? Yeah.
Well, they just used them to get to one.
So they used the turtles, which is fine, but I thought for sure that they would have a bunch of callbacks, which would have been fun. Like, it would have been fun to see the sharks. It would have been fun to have a jellyfield, but also it would have been like, do something new. And the new characters were amazing. The actors that they got to play these people, it's just incredible. So, the whale shark, was the girl from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes, Kristen Olsen, I think.
She has the perfect voice to be a cartoon character, and she was hilarious.
But
She's
what's
so
really
funny
is that you're used to hearing her just be awful
and vulgar.
The only thing I know her from is Always Sunny. I don't know. I mean, she's probably done other stuff, but nothing I've ever seen. And so it's just like everything I've ever heard her say has been terrible.
Yeah. However,
so you expect it to happen, and she's just like being like this nice whale character in a kid's movie.
But her interacting with like Ellen, which I know they weren't in the same room when they did it, but like the back and forth with her and Ellen, I'm like, I cannot think of anybody who would have been more perfect for that. When she's doing the whale voice, like, hello, Dory, like when she's doing that whole thing. It's perfect. It's so like when you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, that's why Dory knows whale. That's absolutely why. And also, by the way, it's ridiculous. She only talks like that when she talks to Dory. But like, I love it. I love all the characters. The beluga whale is the guy from Modern Family who plays Phil Dunphy. Oh my God, it was amazing. And I saw him in a interview where he said that he went in and he had this idea, like, okay, he's a beluga whale, he has the big nose, he probably sounds nasally or congested. It's like he had like in his mind what he would sound like, and he started doing it, and they were like, wait, no, could you just do it in your voice, please? That's why we picked you. So it's kind of funny, but
that'd be so embarrassing for like 3 seconds.
Yeah, and then it was fine.
Okay,
and but he was so funny, and it's like, I mean, obviously, the people who wrote this, I feel like they hand selected these people, the actors, and they really wrote for them. And I know that the whoever directed it, I think, was saying that they like always loved that girl's voice that does the whale shark, and that they always loved her voice and thought it would be great as a cartoon. So they clearly like handpicked these people and they wrote for them, and everything that the what's his name? Phil Dunphy. What kind of animal is that again?
Beluga whale.
The beluga whale?
Beluga.
Is that what he is?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I just said that 5 times. And everything that he said sounded so much like Phil Dunphy. It was so funny. The humor aspect of this was off the wall.
Yep.
So funny.
Off the wall.
Like it was so funny. Whereas like Moana had humor, like comedic relief. This movie was just comedy.
Well, that's
all the way
kind
through.
Of the difference between Pixar and Disney.
That
movies.
is true. But this one is just so funny. It was great. It was really fun to tell the story, and I could go into details about like what they could have done better, but what's the point? Who cares? It was great. So, number 2.
I think that I'm getting old.
Yeah. So you're like, so in your mind, you're like, I don't want a kids movie in my top 5.
Yeah. I mean,
I could totally see that.
I still like the movies I picked in my top 5 more than Moana and Finding Dory.
Yeah.
But I think I'm just getting old because I'm just not even considering it.
You deduct them a little bit in your mind. And that's fine. I really feel like I'm getting young. So
You're getting younger?
I'm just staying the same.
Oh, okay.
Which is fine. I'm okay with who I am.
Number 2.
For you.
For me. Rogue One.
All right, that's my number 1.
A Star Wars story. So there you go. We can end on this.
That's my number 1, and I absolutely don't regret that. Like, in fact, immediately when my friends asked me what my top 5 movies were, I was like, Rogue One, number 1. Awesome movie.
Yeah, Rogue One's pretty amazing.
I am blown away by it because I went in not expecting much. Even though people said it was great, I still didn't expect much because I was like, yeah, it'll be fun. Just like with Fantastic Beasts, you know, I was like, it'll be fun. It'll be interesting. But I remember when we did the trailer for that, you were saying that you think that these movies you might like these side movies better than the trilogy movies, or not trilogy, the series.
They won't be forced into a formula.
Yeah. And I was like, I doubt it because I love the series. I love those characters and I love it when you get to see characters grow. But you know what? They were able to show characters growing and having an arc and being multidimensional in one movie, start to finish, ending with their death, knowing that they will never be there again.
Right.
There is no more. And
even
it
though
was still
Felicity
amazing.
Jones is signed on for another one.
Who's that?
Jin.
You're telling me they're going to go back and do more Jin?
No, I think that what's going to happen is...
Memories, maybe?
Probably they'll do flashbacks or holograms or something, but I think mostly what's going to happen...
It would be really hard to have her in, though.
Probably what happened was they hired her for a Star Wars movie, therefore you get signed on for multiple Star Wars movies.
Just in case.
Just
they
in case.
They put a clause in there.
Right.
Well, because the thing is, it would be really hard to do because she was not at all a part of the cause, didn't care about the cause at all, and was just trying to survive and was out for her own skin at the beginning. So it would be weird to show anything about her life other than what she did. Like, that was the meaningful part of her life. That's the thing that she did in her life that meant something.
Yeah.
Everything else was just trying to survive after she was abandoned by her parents because she had to be, you know? But... oh, it was so amazing. And you and I have mentioned this to each other. The acting in it was good. All the acting was good, but none of it was like standout performance. Like there was, you know, sometimes you go to a movie and you're like that one person, like let's say Silver Linings Playbook, Jennifer Lawrence. Let's just say that. Because back when that came out, it's like when she was screaming and yelling and having her bipolar meltdowns, it was like goosebumps on my arm. Like, oh my God, this woman is an amazing actor, you know, at the time. And when I saw this, it wasn't like there was any one moment where I got goosebumps on my arm. Where I was like, ooh, that person really acted amazingly.
The way that I explained that when because I've said that a couple times, is that the characters were so good that you didn't even notice the acting.
Yeah, and that's a good way to describe it because I definitely think they were good.
You just felt like you were watching them.
Yeah, I definitely thought that they were good.
And also especially because they didn't get anyone like super, super famous to be in it.
That helps.
All of the actors that are in it are...
except
known,
for
like people know them and who they are and from other things.
Jen Erso's dad.
Yeah, Forrest Whitaker, but he was barely
no. Her dad. That guy's really famous
Mickelson
too.
Or Michelson or whatever.
That guy's really famous too.
Right.
But yeah, the people who were super famous were tiny roles.
Yeah. And so it's the characters. When you have characters that are better even than the good actors portraying them, that they just become them.
Yeah,
then
the
that's
writing
amazing.
was incredible, and that's this year stands out for writing. We have, you know, we started with Fantastic Beasts and J.K. Rowling all the way to Rogue One. Whoever these freaking writers are, please, all of the movie companies, do more movies with these writers. All of them. I mean, we've just had amazing writing this year. Seriously. And we talk all the time about how we need better written scripts. Like we talk about how like it seems like there's too many sequels and prequels and people relying on that. There's too many remakes and reboots. But then these people come along and they do something that's already a part of a universe, which gives them automatic money. You know, I get it.
That's the best thing about it, is that it gives them automatic money, and so they can make it however they want to make it.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing too, though. Like sometimes when people do sequels and stuff, or prequels or whatever, they take a universe that they know is already popular, and people will come out for it, guaranteed.
Because Fantastic Beasts with no budget would have been terrible.
Yeah. But okay, so the reason that they do that,
there would have been no good way to make that.
The reason that we very seldom have unique new scripts is because if they do it based on a book or a movie, then they know that people already like it and they are guaranteed money. So they do that. And here's the thing, though. You're right. They have all the money. They can make it however they want. And yet it seems like they a lot of times just kind of phone it in.
Right.
They're like, okay, we'll do another Ghostbusters. Okay, we'll do another Monsters, Inc. Okay. And
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters and Monsters, Inc. were great, but
cost so much to make, so much so that they didn't make any money off of it.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. I think that whole thing was unfortunate because I think that it was actually a really good movie. But
that's good.
But yeah, just in general, people a lot of times they're just like, oh, we'll just make another one. And it's like, are you making another one because you had an amazing idea? Or are you making another one because you need to make something and you need to make money and here you go?
Right. But well, I mean, that's kind of the opposite of what happened with Rogue One. Like,
yeah.
Rogue One, they were just like, we're making a spinoff. It's going to be about this. Who are we going to get to write it and direct it?
Yeah.
And then they went out and got
they
people, and it was amazing.
But that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Basically, they were like, we have a really good idea of a story that we could tell that is a part of this universe. And that's what it should be. If you're going to take a universe that already exists, don't do it because you're like, I was told we should make another Star Wars movie. Do it because you're like, hey, this would be great. You know, like if you're taking a character that exists and you're telling a story that needs to be told, then
or because
great.
George Lucas wants to sell Jar Jar Binks dolls.
Yeah. But if you're telling a story that needs to be told and should be told, then do it. I was going to say, something. So let's just mention this. So Carrie Fisher passed away this week, the week that we are recording this, not the week that we're probably going to release it. But I think the whole world is sad about it. I know I am. Like real sad. She was just an amazing person. She was an amazing heroine of a human being and of a character. And where am I going with this? Hang on, because I did have a point. So this movie, okay, here's my point. This movie is basically based off of her audition for the first Star Wars movie.
What do you mean?
I went back and watched her audition when I heard she died, and I was listening to it and I'm like, oh my God, this audition, literally all she's doing is talking to Han about how she got the plans for the Death Star.
Oh, really?
And she's just like, we sent there was a team of people that went to the base.
It was written for her, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But she didn't improv. Most people don't improv their auditions.
She just improvs an
this
entire
isn't an
backstory.
SNL. This isn't an SNL.
She improvs an entire backstory
audition.
to a movie that hasn't been made yet, that she hasn't seen the script for.
That would be incredible. No, but no, it was just her and Harrison Ford. He was out of the camera. You only see her because the camera's right on her for the audition. And she's just like, she's talking about it. I was like, oh my God, I just saw a movie that she talked about. I don't know if that part is in the movie either, is the point. Like, it's been a long time. You recently saw A New Hope. Does she talk about that? How
no.
She's like, so I put it on the droid.
No.
But she says basically
A New Hope is very much like Rogue One, where it's just like after you get to a certain point where you're introduced to the main character enough that you know who they are,
it just
goes from then until the very end.
It was awesome. Basically, he's like, so where's this droid? Why is it on this droid? And she's like, we sent a team to get it, basically. And then she says, they could barely get it out, so they gave it to me and I hid it on this droid so that it wouldn't be found, because she knew that they were going to find her. And that's what happened. I mean, we know that she gave the plans to the droid, but it's so interesting that like the idea for this story already existed. And I think it's so sweet and interesting to get to go back and watch that and be like, oh, Carrie Fisher, you're kind of a part of this still. And also she had joked about her cameo in it and was like, yeah, I heard I looked great, or, and so that's fun. And we're all going to miss her and we appreciate her. So yes. I just had to do that.
And we can talk about Rogue One forever, but we'll move on because there's some things that I wanted to get to. Do you want to do honorable mention real fast without talking about them? That's part of it. Okay. So here, look what I did. I have my top 5 that I wrote down. I have my honorable mentions, and then down the side I wrote Civil War, because.
So that doesn't even make honorable mention.
Well, no, it does.
It's its whole other category.
It's both. Because it's in my top 5 and it's honorable mention, because
but it's not in your top 5.
On any given day, I might swap out one of them with Civil War.
Okay, so that's what you call honorable mention.
No.
Yes.
Because my other honorable mentions I wouldn't put into my top 5. You
cannot put 6 in your top 5. That's not allowed.
I just did.
It's not allowed. You're a liar and a cheat.
Because Civil War is really good. I still have only seen it once, and it's on Netflix, so I'll probably watch it again soon.
Oh, yeah. Let me just say then that Civil War was my 6th one, along with Deadpool.
Yeah,
Captain America: Civil War and Deadpool.
In my honorable
were tied
mention,
for 6.
In my honorable mentions, I have Civil War, I guess.
Yeah, Cap America.
Deadpool. Moana, Finding Dory, and Zootopia.
Oh, Zootopia could make honorable mention for me.
Zootopia was great.
That was the shock of the year for me. I had no idea.
We trashed it on this.
It looked,
the trailer.
honestly, the trailer wasn't good, but the movie was great, and
It was
I'm fine
amazing.
with that.
It was
I would
really
prefer, obviously, for the sake of this podcast, we would prefer all of the trailers to be better, but it was a great movie.
And then I have a third category down here that I call probably would be close.
Oh, that's good because
there's
let's do that.
There's a few that I haven't seen that I think are so good that they might kick a few of these other ones out. There's the horror movie Don't Breathe. That is probably really, really good. There's that movie Hell or High Water with Jeff Bridges
that made a couple of my friends' top 5 lists.
Written by the same guy that wrote Sicario.
And it looks good.
There's a movie called Don't Think Twice that is made by Mike Birbiglia, and it's about an improv group.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And one of them or two of them get the opportunity to audition for, I believe it's called Weekend Live.
Yeah,
and it's
SNL.
It's SNL. And then I put Edge of 17 on there.
Oh, yeah. That's probably great.
And I put Doctor Strange on there.
That's awesome. And it's about time we saw that, I know.
I haven't seen any of those, and I think that there's a few of them on there that might kick out Arrival or Fantastic Beasts or...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that just proves right there. Like, there's a list. That whole list is of movies that you and I are like, we got to see that.
Right.
But then we just don't have time. Like, we need to see it, and we will eventually see them.
No,
but that's how great...
We have time. We
well,
don't
money.
have the money.
Yeah. But, I mean... Those movies, a lot of those sound really great and probably are great, and that just proves that this year is great. There's so many. Well, I mean,
great.
This year for movies is great. There's so many movies that we haven't even gotten to see all of them that we wanted to. And I just want to say though about Deadpool and Captain America: Civil War again. Those two, like there were several times when I was writing this list that I put them as 5 and then took them out, and put them as 5 because they're both just amazing movies. Yeah. They're so amazing. But for me, Fantastic Beasts. A little more unique, a little more different.
And that's kind of what propelled me into keeping it out is that it's not as unique as all of these other ones.
And I, after Deadpool, kind of like I didn't trash it, but I was a lot more negative than other people.
You get very annoyed when people really like something that you think isn't as good as they think it is.
But what I'm saying is after Deadpool, I was like, I did like it a lot, but I am not very into the breaking the fourth wall thing.
That's one that I think if you saw again, you would just crack up the whole time. And if I saw Civil War again, I would be like, oh, this is amazing. You know?
I did crack up the whole time. I did love that movie is the point that I'm making. It wasn't flawless. It wasn't perfect. And neither was Civil War. And I think that that's probably part of the reason they didn't make top 5 for me also, though, is like I could point out. Well, yeah, I could point out lots of flaws. Whereas, honestly, Fantastic Beasts, Moana, Cloverfield, 10 Cloverfield Lane, Dory, and Rogue One. Finding Dory is the only one that I could point out something that they should have done differently. And the part that I would point out is so minuscule and just a tiny part of it.
Yeah.
And so, that's the only reason they didn't make top 5 is because I can see how they could be better.
Well, let's move on to this. I've made a couple of lists of top 5 things from this year.
All right.
Just things? Of movies for different categories. So the first one, and I'm gonna try and get you to guess them.
Oh, your top 5?
No, the first one is the top 5 movies based on their Rotten Tomatoes score.
Oh,
from
critics
from all of 2016. Yes.
Okay, based on critics. Okay, top 5.
And I think that you'll be surprised. I mean, there's one on here that you don't know, maybe 2, but I think you'll be surprised by the top one.
I'm not gonna do it in order. I'm just gonna try and name 5 because it's hard for me to even think of all the movies. I'm gonna say Doctor Strange, Hell or High Water.
Hell or High Water is number 2.
Okay, Doctor Strange is not on there.
Doctor Strange is not.
Okay, so
on
Hell
there.
or High Water.
None of them are
Deadpool?
under. No, none of them are under a 96%.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that one movie that Mel Gibson made.
No.
So
you have Hell or High Water is number 2. Arrival is number 3.
And you said Deadpool's not on there. Captain America's not on there?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't think Captain America got to 90.
That's unfortunate. I mean, but honestly, I get it.
Same with Deadpool.
Finding Dory?
Finding Dory is not on there. It was number 7,
it had to be close,
I think.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I know that was really high. Okay, well, I'm having trouble. Let me think of some more. Rogue One?
Nope.
Dang it. top 5 rating wise. Okay.
Yeah. I'll give you 3 more chances to get number 1 because you won't get 4 and 5.
So you think I'll get number 1?
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yes.
Ooh, I've seen it. That makes it even harder for me because I can't think of everything I've seen. It wasn't in my top 5?
No.
Okay. Okay, I said Arrival, right?
Mm-hmm. Arrival's 3. Hell or High Water is 2.
Sicario.
No.
No, that was last year. Dang it.
No, that was 2
That was
years ago.
2014. Dang it. Sorry, I got real excited. I don't know. I give up.
Zootopia is the number 1 highest rated movie from this year.
Well, that's just BS. Critics,
I believe it was
sometimes
98.
I think you're crazy.
For
That to be above the others, oh my gosh.
Number 4 is Moonlight, which is a A24 movie
okay.
that Mahershala Ali is in.
Oh, I've heard amazing things. That's nominated for a bunch of stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's a coming-of-age tale.
He's nominated in that, isn't
he? He's not the main character.
No, maybe he's not.
No, but he might be.
I think the person...
And
I don't want to get that wrong.
Number 5 is a big eye roll for me.
What?
is Love and Friendship.
I've never even heard of that.
It's a Kate Beckinsale movie. It's a 1790s love story.
Oh, wait. I have heard of that.
And
that is a big eye roll. Come on. Even if it is good. Like, come on.
I would like to read the little synopsis blurb that it has on... let's see where it is.
If you think it's worth it, then let's do it. I mean, people love period movies, but for the critics to like it that much, like, maybe it's great. Honestly, maybe it is, but still an eye roll.
Yeah, it's
still just a love
crazy.
Story.
Here.
Look, love stories can be
IMDb
beautiful, but top 5 material, I don't know.
Here,
oh gosh, just looking at it makes me roll my eyes.
All right, here we go. I'm going to read the whole synopsis of it.
Okay, go.
Set in the 1790s, Love and Friendship centers on beautiful widow Lady Susan Vernon, who has come to the estate of her in-laws to wait out colorful rumors of her dalliances circulating throughout polite society. Whilst there, she decides to secure a husband for herself and her rather reluctant debutante daughter, Frederica.
Wow.
That's the most...
What do I even say to that?
That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. That did not sound like something I want to see.
Yikes.
Wow. All right.
And
what else? What's next?
I have one more list for you to guess.
Okay.
And it's the top 5 movies based on box office numbers. Ooh. Total box office numbers. So the most recent ones probably will not be on here because
fair enough.
They haven't had as long of a time.
Deadpool.
Deadpool's number 5.
Zootopia.
Zootopia's not on here.
Mother of Pearl. Okay. Captain America: Civil War.
Number
Doctor
2.
Strange.
Doctor Strange is not on here. Doctor Strange came out in November.
I know, but it's done really well. Finding Dory.
Number 1. $486 million.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So you have number 1, number 2, and number 5.
All right. What else came out this
However,
summer?
I will say this. Deadpool has $363 million and will probably be soon to be overtaken by Rogue One, which has $358 million.
Okay, fair enough.
So Rogue One will go up there, but it'll be the next year by then. So
I don't know. I don't know.
Number 3 with $368 million, The Secret Life of Pets.
Wow. That's just like a luck thing. That must have come out during a time when there was nothing else going on because Zootopia has to be better than that. Like, I haven't seen The Secret Life of Pets, but from what I have heard about from how my sister described it, it doesn't sound that good.
And number 4 is Jungle Book. Is the Jon Favreau Jungle Book.
That's a huge eye roll for me.
Yeah, the Jungle Book was good. It's just not
but
as
it wasn't,
good as
there was nothing
everyone
unique
thinks.
or special or funny or great
Jungle
about
Book
it.
was number 8 on Rotten Tomatoes top scores.
For me, I would never watch that movie again. If I ever want to see The Jungle Book, I will see The Jungle Book. Why would I watch that?
That's the better one.
Yeah, it was exactly what I thought
Anyone
it would
who
be.
says that that's not the better one is crazy.
It was exactly what I thought it would be, which is just a retelling of the exact same story with less fun animation.
And less fun
Realistic animation is the opposite of fun. Why do you think people like cartoons? Because it's not realistic.
Because it's a cartoon.
Yeah. It's just, come on. Anyway.
You
but,
jerks. Damn you, Jon Favreau, for being so good.
That's all we have for today, right?
That's all we have for today.
So I want to wrap it up a little bit. First of all, again, thanks for being with us for 2016. We look forward to
For this
2017.
exceptionally long episode.
Yes.
It's very long.
Oh, well, you'll cut it up a little bit. It'll be
Not
fine.
going to do that.
Oh, come on.
I'm not going to listen to this whole thing. Are you kidding me?
I'll do it.
Yeah, okay.
No, thanks for listening. We really appreciate it. We look forward to next year. And I'm just going to go through and give you a coming soon to movie trailer trash. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
What?
Thor Ragnarok.
Oh,
War of the Planet of the Apes.
doing it.
How to Talk to Girls at Parties.
Oh, yeah.
Free Fire.
Scoot.
And Despicable Me 3.
Ah.
What? Okay. Well, anyway, the point is that you can have all those to look forward to. We're going to be talking about a lot of trailers this coming year. We'll try and keep up with it every week. Obviously we live our lives. Sometimes we can't do that.
Yeah,
but,
no guarantees. Sometimes I
full-time
just want
jobs.
to lay on the couch also.
Yeah. But, look forward to all that. There's so many movies that are coming out. It's going to be a really interesting year. So welcome to the new year, folks.
Happy New Year to you.
Also, just to do a couple of plugs, check us out on Twitter.
I almost forgot.
At MTT Podcast. So that's where you can tell us whatever Google question we asked. And, just kind of talk to us. Let us know if there's a new movie coming out you want us to talk about. And check us out online at mttpodcast.com.
What did we ask?
I don't remember. It's not important.
Oh, okay.
But mttpodcast.com, that's where you can see all of our old episodes. You can also see some of our comparisons that tell you how good we guessed.
I haven't updated those in a while.
And you can also see, we're going to have a few blogs up there. So
Yep.
we look forward to the next year. See
Absolutely.
you guys later.
Bye, everybody.